Good morning. This is Regina Adams coming at you with another busted but blessed Big Mama love message. Sorry, I didn't check to make sure the volume was all the way up because I wanted to take my headphones out because they have a tendency of going out like halfway through I'm talking through my message, so and I can hear it go out. So I just wanted to make sure that was correct. Um, Also, I have my Alto cup. Wanted to give a shout out to Alto. Boop, boop, boop. If you guys are at least 25 years of age and older and you need a job and you have a driver's license and have had a license for a year, Alto needs 20,000 drivers. So you guys head over there. They need drivers. And the great part is you get paid per hour, even though they work on the Uber platform. And I know the rate's increasing there. I don't know how much they're paying drivers now per hour, but they need drivers. So I'm always going to shout them out. I loved driving for LA. I loved driving in LA on Alto's dime in Alto's car because I got to see how much of a melting pot Los Angeles really is. And it's interesting because you can go 5 miles in any direction and be in a completely different community. And I'm thankful for that. I didn't even realize there was a little Ethiopia, there's a little Armenia, you have Japanese town. Actually, they got them in two areas, and you got little Tokyo, and there's just so many different places I'm thankful I was able to explore on their dime while I was driving on the Uber platform for Alto, getting paid per hour. So I just want to encourage anybody, if you need a job and you have a driver's license, you drive their vehicles, they give you the gas card, they're a 24-hour company, they definitely need drivers. And it's a great way for you to get back, get make some money. And a lot of times, even when you're not busy, you're able to sit and think and drive and look at the different buildings and architectures here in Los Angeles, which makes it more of a blessing to be here. And so I'm thankful for that. Also, I'm definitely going to shout out the extended stay here over here on Torrance, because when we were staying there, we were blessed tremendously. I was able to start my Busted But Blessed messages because I understood that the world needs more love. And being in a place where I watched the manager shift the atmosphere after an intense negative encounter filled my spirit so much that I'm going to always give them a shout out, because I love them and I'm thankful for being in that space to be able to get my messages to you guys, and understanding that even as I go through this life and my daughter's taking care of me. We had a conversation this morning where she was really upset about me not having peace of mind. And even though I couldn't explain to her at the time, I had to take my time to think about it, because it's not anybody's job or ability to give you peace of mind. It's your responsibility to create a peace of mind and a setting and environment for you to have peace of mind. I am thankful that God trusts me enough with understanding the evil that I've been through to be able to talk to people about it. And then, because I'm aware of the evil that I've been through and the evil that I've been dealing with, that I am, and I have the ability, like I said before, to speak away death. And so, because when evil is present, death is present, therefore my spirit is up and my spirit is not resting. And that's okay if my spirit doesn't rest, because my daughter takes care of me, and then I just sleep during the daytime, which I'm about to do. And as I'm looking at my life and recognizing that I asked the question, how do you stop fighting Satan? I asked that question earlier this week, and then my answer came to me is that I'm not fighting Satan. I'm revealing the tricks Satan uses to deceive the people of God. And because I'm exposing and revealing the tricks Satan uses to attack the people of God, then I'm not actually fighting Satan. I'm actually trying to help the lost sheep find their way home. The reckless love of God. You have to be willing to be misunderstood because you have a purpose. And I'm loving the fact that I'm recognizing my purpose, because even when I was married, when I got married to Noel originally, I didn't even realize we were married. He didn't tell me till a year in. But even before then, things had changed for me. What changed for me was my desire to understand the children that Loretta fostered. My desire to know why certain behaviors were the way they were. And because I had a desire to want to know why certain behaviors were the way they were, then I thank God the fear of what I didn't know didn't keep me from learning what I wanted to learn. There comes a time when the desire to know more outweighs your fear of what you don't know. Because how can you help anybody if you don't know what they've been through? If you don't understand the demon that they're fighting, how can you help anybody? And as I was, even after I sent him the papers to, will you marry me? And, I didn't know he signed it, but apparently he did, and boom, boom, boom. And in that connection, my heart grew for understanding, in love, to talk to people about the love of God. And then my desire to understand and be able to minister in the spirit, a lot of people went home. A lot of people left Loretta's situation to never return. And that was in May of 2024. And I'm looking back now that even as things progressed, I started Busted But Blessed sending up messages in June 2024. And I started doing that because I understood the importance of people hearing the words, I love you. And I look at it as if I'm telling you I love you, but I understand you don't believe me. And I understand you don't have the ability to receive or believe what I'm saying to you because of what you've been through. That's why I show up every Saturday. That's why I post every Saturday. Sometimes I was started at 10, but something in my spirit, I start 20 minutes before 9:40, sometimes 9:30, depending on what it is I'm going through, depending on what it is I'm dealing with, depending on where my mindset is. Wanting to make sure that you guys are aware that I do love you, and I'm going to be consistent in loving you. And being consistent in showing you love and talking to you about love, understanding that my life is under attack. And I understand the attack better now. And I am thankful because over the weekend I said I'm going to talk about death. And the moment it was Sunday morning, at about 1 something in the morning, so I'm going to talk about death. And then at the same time, I heard Loretta say she's going to talk about death. And when she said it, I felt a shift in the spirit. So that's why on Tuesday I went a different direction, because even though I didn't hear her message, when dealing with or listening to Loretta, understanding that there are some parts that are truth, but then the lie slides in really quick. I've never met anybody who can turn a truth into a lie so quickly that it deceives the people of God. And what I'm doing is I'm talking to you to reveal that the scheme is to always make me the target. Always make me the bad guy, because if you can make me the bad guy, you can always keep people focused on me. Excuse me. And because the focus is always on me, I go out and I meet people. I talk to people. I spend time with people. I love talking to people. I hug strangers. Last weekend we found Amazon Fresh up there on the corner, and we were cool. We had a great time. Met a wonderful guy who helped us out. Then we went over to Caps and Corks, and the lady, we were there talking. Me and my daughter had a good time. And on the way out, now I don't know if she was on the phone or not, but all I heard was "Te amo," and I hollered back, "I love you too." Now, she may not have been talking to me, but when I hear it, I'm hollering back, because that's how I am. And my daughter's like, "Mom, you can't go around throwing love all willy-nilly." You can't, because you're in your 20s. And I can. I'm in my 50s. I'm Big Mama. I can throw love wherever I want to. And it's funny because we went back into the same Amazon Fresh a couple days ago and ran into the same gentleman, and he was a sweetie pie, and we started talking, laughing, and I gave him a hug and told him I love him, and we just had a great time talking, because people need to hear and feel love. They need to see that the love that I'm sending up is genuine. And I understand that, because so many people have not received love that they don't know genuine when they see it. So what they do is they try to do other things that will try to say, "See, she's a lie. She's lying." Soundbite of me lying when I was talking about my weight. Soundbite played throughout where people were saying I was lying all the way around. Never even listened to the whole message, only heard a soundbite. Now, I understand that after listening to what Loretta said about death on Monday, parts of it, didn't hear it all, that I have been who she uses to attract other people to be her victim. Part of the message that I heard that she said was that if you have family, and when you sacrifice your family, that you live longer. That's what I heard her say. I don't know if it's true or not. What I do know is that I know she sacrificed the children she fostered to extend her life. That's why when I say she's 106 and people don't believe me, it's okay, because she uses the secrets of heaven against the people of God. And I'm realizing that a lot of the people she used went into a deep sleep, and they experienced some things. And because they experienced some things, when they came back, they were still in the mindset, because people don't understand that they were trained in death. You can't imagine. And that's why I'm saying this is a trigger warning, because I don't know what I'm going to say. But I want y'all to know this is a trigger warning. You cannot imagine being brutally assaulted until death, dying, having someone say the chant to bring you back to life, and you're still in that painful state you were when you gave up to die. You can't imagine that. You can't imagine the multitude of times of the foster children she did that to obey her, whatever she says, wherever she goes. You can't imagine. That is something that is beyond what we as people could begin to imagine. And I thank God I started talking about this at the same time the Jeffrey Epstein files were released. And the only difference between Jeffrey Epstein is that those kids were being sacrificed, but they were never brought back from death. Now you have these kids that were sacrificed and then brought back because the original group of kids she kidnapped from other countries, from royal families. That's why they were able to come back to life. That's why they were able to stay in their pain. That's why she was able to create slaves, human slaves, because of the constant pain, trauma, and abuse she inflicted on people. And the mental abuse is so beyond what we can imagine that even if they die, basically, if they die for a year or however long, when they come back, they're still going to do what she says because of the trauma they went through. And to be honest, I don't care if you believe me or not, because I started this for them. I started this messaging so I could talk to them. And what I realized is when I started on Facebook, a lot of my messages were deleted. And even as she was taking them off, picking them off one by one, because the ones who needed to hear it, she was taking them out before they could hear it. She was reading my mind, knowing that I was going to say something to change their heart, so then that way they couldn't hear it, take them out, and then create a way to delete my messages from Facebook so they could never hear it, so they could never go back and hear what I say. And it's important to understand that wherever I go, when I'm in church, understanding that she needs new lives to call into her own family, to sacrifice, to extend her life. Which is why I stopped going to church. Because the moment she sets you up to go against me, you are now able to become her sacrifice. That's why I stopped going to church. Even when I'm sitting at McDonald's and a young lady put something in my drink because I had to go to the bathroom, and I was talking to her for a minute. I spoke to her several times. She was homeless. But the thing is, I ate a double quarter pounder with cheese deluxe. Whenever you put something in somebody's drink, if they eat meat, the meat absorbs it, and then you pass it through your bowels a couple hours later, drinking a lot of water. I knew immediately something was in my drink when I got back to drink it, and I didn't drink it till she left. She has put herself in a position to be set up by Loretta and her life sacrificed so somebody that is 106 years old can live longer. That's why she calls it a game. Because if she can get you to believe that I'm lying, get you to turn against me, then she can trick you into believing she is this sincere, sweet, loving person and would never do anything to hurt you, and then set you up, collecting money, sacrificing you, and then when you die, that extends her life. Whether you believe me or not, I understand this is a hard pill to swallow. It's not hard for me to say because I thank God He trusts me enough. And when I recognize that that evil presence is near me, focusing on somebody I love, then I tell them to stay away because I love them. So when I am in my own home, minding my business, and I hear Loretta tell people, oh, she's not going out because she's a porn star. I'm not going out because I was homeless for years, and now I have a home and I have a bed that I sleep in and I relax in. So when I'm up all night ministering to people in the spirit, talking to God, asking God to move on my behalf, I have the daytime to sleep. So that way I can be ready for when Satan gets ready to move again at night. When Satan, because I'm not a night person, I'm a morning person. Excuse me. At this point, because God trusts me, I understand and I can feel when evil is present and evil is moving. So if I'm up praying, if I'm up talking to God, if I'm up yelling at God, if I'm up ministering to the people to let them know how to talk to God, go to God first, apologize for what you did. There's no way around it. Go to God, talk to God, apologize for what you did, and explain to Him. Because it's not that He doesn't already know. You just need to say it. Talk to Him about what you went through, the abuse you endured, and why it's so hard for you to let go of the intense, abusive training you endured. Because there's no way that you are trained in death that you don't experience it, come back from it, and think you're going to be okay. Because you're not. And then after you talk to God, then get you a notebook, dollar store, get you a pen, and there's something therapeutic about journaling every day. Because it's like when you're writing down, you're getting it out of your head. Because a lot of times we think we have to hold on to things mentally to remember what we went through. And a lot of times we can't even heal because we're so busy holding on to it mentally. But if you write it down, it's written down. So if you ever want to think about something, you can go back and read your journal. And that's the best way you can start healing yourself. I'm sorry that, and I hated that I had to leave my church because I loved my church. But I understood that she was creating sacrifices because when you go to church, you're not introduced to this level of evilness. And it's hard to recognize who's telling the truth. It's hard to know because I'm saying some outrageous, outlandish, unbelievable stuff. And when I started this, I never focused my message or my ministry on church folks, because church people have one mindset. My focus was always the abused foster children Loretta raised. So whether they believe me or not, I never cared. Whatever you said, whenever you said it, I never cared, because I never did this for you guys, because you guys don't understand what they went through. And my prayer is that as much as you've gone through, and as much as I've gone through, because the blessing for you is a lot of things you did was in secret. My ass is all over the internet because of Loretta. And I'm still here telling you about the love of God. I'm still here telling you I understand, and I'm trying to understand how the power of God that you possessed was sucked out of you as a child, and you were trained to obey no matter what. And I'm telling you I understand, but I'm also telling you there's a better way. And there's a lot more I can say. I'm going to say that for another time, because I've said a lot already. But I just wanted you guys to understand that I do love you. And I am praying that me and my husband can help you guys get to a better place in this life. Because God is truly in the process of creating heaven on earth. And I would love for you guys to see the change and feel the shift. I'm going to end like this. Father God, I pray that you watch over us, guide us, and protect us. Keep us safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, seen and unseen. And we will be sure to give you all the praise, glory, and honor that you so righteously deserve. In Jesus' name I pray. I love you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you guys have a great day.